Hey now, what is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and can you believe it's been 40 years since the original Halloween was released, 1978? How could I not sit down and rewatch, relive, talk about this film, this classic movie in its entirety? It's directed by John Carpenter, of course, and the very beginning of the movie, it does not slow down with the 6-year-old Michael Myers who we see kill his older sister. This is fascinating, the way how this is presented, the way how this is shot, because at first you could think this is just some crazy psycho, some crazy peeping Tom who's looking in on this girl and her boyfriend. When the boyfriend leaves, he goes in and stabs her to death. Sure, there's a moment where you see a little hand pick up the mask, and so you know it's a kid, but if you blink and you miss it, you could still think that when he walks down the stairs out the house in the point of view with the mask on, the mask is pulled off by his parents, and you see that it's this young child. It's horrifying. It's a really messed up way to start this film. That's where we enter Donald Pleasance as Sam Loomis. And I love Donald Pleasance as this character, just how he talks about Michael Myers, how he spent all of these years with Michael at this hospital, how he knows that Michael is no longer human, how he's has no emotion, he has no feeling, he doesn't talk. He's the shape. He is a shape of evil. And I love that. He really sells it and brings it home why we should all fear this character. When Michael Myers breaks out and goes to Haddonfield, I love the scenes of him just being creepy, watching from the window up at Laurie Strode, or when he follows all of the girls down the street and you see him in the background or him behind the bushes and Jamie Lee Curtis looking around and looking for him. Even the scenes where he bumps into the kid at the school, he's driving around in the car. It's just so many scenes of him being ominous, you not knowing exactly what he's doing. I want to talk about Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode because this is her very first role. She still, after all of these years, talks highly about this film, about this character, how much this means to her in her career. So I'll always appreciate Jamie Lee Curtis for that, but also her performance. She's playing a high school girl. She legitimately was 17 or 18 years old making this movie. So she is very young. She is very naive. You buy all of these conversations and these moments with her friends and how she's the good girl. She's the one who's going to babysit. She's not going to hang out and party and have sex with her boyfriend like her friends do. So you buy everything about her. And that also makes her very likable as well. When her friend Annie gets strangled in the car, you do feel bad, though. I know these movies, these slashers, especially back in the day, would want you to think, hey, if you drink, if you have sex, you're just going to die. So you shouldn't feel bad, I think was the point. But I still felt bad for her. I still liked this actress, and I liked her spunkiness and her sense of humor. Michael stabbing the boyfriend on the wall and him just hanging there and Michael looking at him and cocking his head. It's one of those scenes that stands out, that is memorable. This whole movie has no blood. At least I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's no blood really in this movie. It's all implied, it's all suggested, and it's all just in the kills. It's how creative Michael is. Like this scene, for example, everybody now remembers that turning of the head, that confused, fascinated look. Even with a William Shatner mask, he still is able to convey what he could be thinking. And the mask, too, is obviously the most memorable part of Michael Myers, especially because it's the original movie that the mask looks the best. And they have tried to replicate it. They've tried constantly to make it look even similar. And it almost always fails to look as good for whatever reason. PJ Souls plays Linda. She's an actress who was in a few horror movies around this time. Her death is messed up and sad as well, especially because she's naked and she gets strangled. Michael chasing Laurie is one of those scenes that is intense and that is nerve-wracking to watch. And a lot of reasons why is, yes, Jamie Lee Curtis plays being afraid and being desperate to get away very well. But it's the score. It's John Carpenter's score. It's not just his directing and his producing and writing and everything else that he basically practically did by himself, but it's the score that amplifies the scares, that amplifies the tension and the nerves that still work. When I first saw this when I was younger, I will admit that to me, yeah, it was a bit slow and maybe I didn't love it immediately from the start, but obviously the older I got, the more I appreciated it, the more I did find the scares in it, more the creepiness and the ideas and what the movie was effectively able to do. It's now one of my favorite horror films because of that. The two little kids that Laurie was watching, Lindsay and Tommy Doyle, I like them as well. They do a good job of playing just these kids who are stuck in the middle of this situation. The scene of Laurie in the closet, that too is a memorable moment because it's one of the scariest images. It's one of them. There's so many points of Michael just appearing from the shadows or popping up out of nowhere in the hallways, and all of that is effective. But him going through the closet door there and breaking through, and just this guy on a mission. Keep in mind, we do not know, or it wasn't even the intention for Laurie to be his sister. So the fact that in this original movie, he's just going after a girl, a random girl that he had a fascination with as soon as he broke out of this hospital. This is the one moment. Some people may argue that Laurie spends this whole movie scared and just running but it's a realistic take on how a girl her age in this situation would act. But I do love that this is the one moment where she does fight back. She does want to live. She stabs him in the eye with the clothes hanger, which is proactive. It's smart. It's something to where, hey, write this down. If you're ever being chased by a guy in the mask, hit him with whatever you can around you. Be creative. And the effect of it going into his eye, we actually do see Michael Myers' face. The only film in the original movies where you get a full-on good shot of his face. I believe this is the only one. And his eyes all messed up. And then Loomis, who has been looking for Michael this whole time, him and Sheriff Brackett, they've been scouring the town. Loomis finally shoots Michael over and over again, and he falls off the balcony. I love the conversation he has with Laurie, who's obviously shaken up. Even the moment earlier where she fell off of the balcony, the stairs, and she hurt herself. But when Loomis looks over and sees that Michael is gone, what a cliffhanger. What a great cliffhanger. It's eerie. It's one of those things where I don't think they did a lot of cliffhangers like that for a horror film, setting up a sequel. Who knows if they even intended to make a sequel, but with an ending like this, you had to. This film is amazing. It's great. It's scary. It holds up. There's so many great ideas, and there's a reason why people still talk about Michael Myers as a character. It's this first movie. There's a reason why, as far as his victims go, why Laurie Strode will forever be the one that people want to see him go up against, go after. These two are destined to do this forever. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the original Halloween? 40 years later, do you love it? Does it still hold up for you? Is it your favorite Halloween movie in the franchise? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!